Hello, today we're going to do a lesson called Watercolor Blocks and Wildflowers. You will need 12 by 12 inch watercolor paper, watercolors, paintbrush, water, salt, pencil eraser, ruler, and permanent markers. You're going to begin by starting at the top of your paper and making a little mark at the 1 inch, 4 inch, 7 inch, and 10 inch on your ruler. Then slide your ruler to the middle and mark it at 1, 4, 7, and 10 inch again. And then one more time at the bottom. Once you're done with that, rotate your paper and you're again mark it at the 1, 4, 7, and 10 inch mark at the top of your paper, in the middle, and then one more time at the bottom. Now you're going to have a choice. You can decide if you want straight lines, and if you're going to use straight lines, then use your ruler to connect your marks, like I've done here. What it'll make is 9 squares so that you have a white border. Or you can draw wavy lines, make sure you're touching the marks, and again, you're going to have a border, and you're going to end up with 9 squares, but with wavy sides. Prepare to paint. You need watercolors, brush, water, and salt. You will only paint with 2 colors. Your color choices are red and add yellow, blue and add yellow, or purple and add red. My sample is red, so I'm painting with red, just red, in one of the blocks. Once I get done painting it, while it's still wet, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of salt all over and then just leave it alone. I'm going to repeat that by painting 2 or 3 blocks in just red, my main color. And every time I do it, I sprinkle a little bit of salt on that block. Now you're going to take red and put it in the lid of your water paints. Then you're going to clean your brush and add yellow to that red. That's going to change your red. You don't want to put too much in at first. You want to change it just a little bit so that when you paint this next block, it's just slightly different than the first one you did. Once you finish painting that block, sprinkle it with salt. Now add some more red to your lid, add some yellow to it, and you want a different color than the last one you did. Your goal is that you're going to paint every square a little bit different color and then sprinkle salt on it as soon as you finish painting that block. Continue changing your color every time and then sprinkling each square with salt as soon as you finish painting it until you have completed all 9 squares with shades of red to orange. Now wait, don't touch anything and watch the magic. Let it completely dry. I've sped up the process here. It probably took about 30 minutes for my piece to completely dry before the salt finished doing its magic. After the paint has completely dried, you can go ahead and brush all the salt off, and I would do it into the trash can so you don't get salt on the floor. Time to draw. Flowers first. Here's a PDF that I've made for you to look at if you would like. I'm starting with the daffodils, and I'm using the Sharpie marker directly on my paper. If you don't feel confident enough drawing your flowers like that, use your pencil first, and then go over it with the Sharpie marker. Take your stems all the way down to the bottom of the paper. You want your flower drawings to go outside of the box. You're going to do that on all sides. I've drawn 3 daffodils. I usually like to work in odd numbers if I can. And now I'm doing some little bells. I did some on the left and some on the right. I'm going to do a couple of daisies. And then I'm going to start adding some greenery and some vines. Notice when I'm doing these, when I get up to the flower, I skip the flower so that it looks like the vines are going behind the flowers. In the next part, you're going to see I made my own flowers. You don't have to do exactly what's on these papers. Those are just ideas for you to give you a place to start. Once I finished adding those little flowers, I'm going to go ahead and just add a few more of the other vines that I had in the in-between spots. Now let's add a couple of hidden insects. Again, I got some sample pages for you to look at. I'm starting with the butterfly in between the flowers there, and then a little caterpillar crawling up a leaf, dragonfly flying off the edge of the page, and then a little ladybug. And that's mine complete, but here are some of the other color combinations: blue and yellow, purple and red. Noticed in this one that I created some imaginary flowers. And there's also a PDF for you to look at if you need some of those ideas. I hope you enjoyed creating these beautiful wildflowers.